Do you like scary movies? I hope so, because this is Scream the Game. Can you see it? Totally went out of focus here, didn't it? All right, so this is Scream the Game. Pretty good. This is Ghostface, which I guess has become one of the more iconic slashers. You know, he kind of is now mentioned in the same breath as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason. So I was excited when I saw this IP come out because I like horror-themed games. And party games, you know, get to the table a lot. And quicker games like this, I was hopeful, but I didn't know if it was going to pan out because sometimes they don't. So let's take a look real quick at a playthrough just so you know exactly how it's played. And then I will tell you my thoughts on Scream the Game. I'll be right back. Something you shouldn't say though. Horror movie. Okay, we are set up now for Scream the Game. Now, this is a party-style game, and it's a very simple game to play. I'm going to go over real quickly. Again, this is not a rules teach. This is to kind of give you an overview of how the game plays. First off, now we're set up for a 5-player game. There are some scene cards you take out on different player counts. I believe it plays between 3 and 8 players. So, but this is set up for a 5-player game here. First off, you are going to need to get your phone and download an app. So, got our phone here. I'll need to... Oh, sorry, this one's dead. I'll just use this one. All right, so you're going to download the Scream the Game app, okay? So first you hit New Game. Here we go. And then you're going to put all the names in here, which we'll just go ahead and put them all in one at a time. You're going to choose your color, whatever color you want. And then put in your name. Okay, so there we are. We are set up for, I put in 5 different names here. And then you're going to hit start to play the game. Now first, before you start to play the game, pretty much here's what's going to happen. You can do these things on your turn. You're going to draw 1 card, trade 1 card, or complete your scene. The whole thing is trying to get all these scene cards done before Ghostface kills somebody. So pretty much a scene card is you're going to flip these over when you hit begin. But it's going to show something like this, meaning you have to cash these symbols in to defeat this scene and then grab a new scene. So as you begin, you may have this in your hand. Now, none of these icons are going to match any of these, but say somebody over here, that's their scene, and these are their cards right here. Okay? So you're going to try to trade with different people to get different things. For example, say this guy did not need a phone and I needed a phone over here and I had popcorn. I could trade a popcorn card to him and back and forth. So that's what you can do. And you can also draw a card, which will be right here. So you're going to hope to get the things you need and trade a card or complete your scene. So, but that gets a lot more difficult as you hit play. So you're going to hit play. And there you go, you get to select if you a moderate language and strong language. All I can tell really strong language is a bit more graphic as far as the killing goes. And normal mode to hard mode. Hard mode is less time in between phone calls. We're going to do that just so we can get some phone calls going here. All right, so we're going to go, hit play, and check them all. Make sure you watch the video, you set up, volume turn on, ready to play the game. Are you ready to play a game? All right, so you're going to hit this, and as soon as you hit this, everyone's going to start to go. So here's the way it's going to happen. Also, you're going to have this as a player marker. So when this person, this is all real time. So when this person does their action, pass the knife over and keep going around until the phone rings. There we go. So we've got that playing right now. This person's going to grab a card. There we go. Place it down. Scene right here. Take a look. I need more stuff, so grab another card here, and here's what it looks like. All right, so you can hit it.
Where's your school spirit? I'm at the high school, and I would be honored to teach you a lesson.
Okay, so at the high school, meaning each of these also have a location. Mocker House, hospital, high school. So over here, this player over here is at the high school. All right, so you're going to hit continue. So threatening the high school. So what threatening does, threatening means he's going to eventually come to the high school So now he's threatening high school.
Do
Boom.
you like scary movies? If you're at the high school, show me a DVD, or I would start running if I were you.
Okay, so at this point right here, everyone at the high school has to discard a DVD card or they discard their hand. All right, so anyone at the high school, so right here we've got this, here, Mucker House, and over here, Mucker House. So this player right here, a DVD, discard that DVD, and they get to continue going. And you keep going. So that happens over and over and over. And several things he can do is he can threaten, number one, and that's what he just did. He can also taunt, and if he taunts somebody, if you have too many of the ghost face cards, which are these right here, then you have to discard your entire hand. Also, he can stalk. Now, if he stalks a player, he's going to tell you exactly what he needs, and you need to make sure you get that player all of those cards before Ghostface calls again. And that is more difficult with more players around there. But then beyond that, beyond Ghostface calling, all it is discarding these cards to do these scenes, get rid of them, grab through the next scene, and go through that deck before somebody gets stalked and killed by Ghostface. And that is how you play Scream the game. Okay, so that is just pretty much an overview. Again, it's not all the rules. That's pretty much just how you know the flow of the game. First off, it does use an app. I know some people that's going to discourage them because they don't like having any electronics out. And on this, honestly, it actually adds to the game because it adds that sense of tension because really you're just trying to complete those scene cards. Now, one thing I don't know if I mentioned there, that because I was just kind of soloing it with 5 players, all the scene cards are turned face up so when the app starts. But anyway, about the app, the phone is sitting there in the center of the table. So as you're going along, when that phone rings, it's kind of fun. I mean, it kind of adds something to it to where it's like everything stops and you're like, oh, the killer's calling. And he could be directed to an area or he could be directed to a certain person. So it's kind of fun to then all of a sudden, because you're all doing your objectives that you want, but then it turns into a group thing. Occasionally, especially with the stalking, because I think they call it stalking. It's whenever he actually is going to find, he's looking for somebody in particular and they need to give up 3 certain things or they're going to die. That you need to do. You need to get those to that person or they will die. So, and everyone will lose the game. So you need to do that. Discarding your hand is rough, but it doesn't lose you the game. But if you die, of course, the game is over. It has a feel of 5-minute dungeon, although it's pretty much just one round you're going through, and you'll probably end up playing this a couple times. So if you like that chaos, that throwing it out and going boom, 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 you can kind of get lost in the anxiety of it because I know some people don't like the 5-minute dungeon. It's too just run, and this is the same way. You have to look around. You've got certain people you're communicating with, trying to switch back and forth. I like that. I like the chaos. And then in the middle of that, the phone rings. One thing I will say is this: the first player marker is supposed to be handed to the next person every time you finish your turn. We always forget to do this because it's so much chaos and trading and drawing and all this that it's forgot to be passed. And that's fine as long as you go in order like that. But one thing I do recommend is this should be going to the person who it's their turn when the phone call happens. Because at that moment, you all stop. And it's very easy at that moment to forget where you are and to forget whose turn it is when the phone then ends and you start back up. So that's when we do grab this knife when the phone rings. And, I like how you look down and you see the name, you see where they're going to go. There are certain things like that that I do like. The hard mode, there's a normal and a hard mode like I showed on there, but the hard mode I didn't find that much more difficult. I think it could even be harder, but it is an app and that's something they could update. Really, the other thing is there are only 3 things you can do on your turn, but there aren't player aids. It's silly, but I do like some player aids, just to let people know what's going to happen and what they do, especially if it is a party game and you're playing with new people. So I think that wouldn't be bad to have on there. But overall, I did enjoy it. It is not for everybody. It is very anxiety driven because it is fast. It is very, very uber light because you're really just kind of trying to cash those out. But the voice that got to do the voiceover for the guy is really good. It's enjoyable. It is a game that I think we will play. It kind of hits that party, everybody around the table, and you play Scream, and look at this guy. Look at the guy. Isn't he cute? He's really good. So, yeah. So I would actually give this a 7. I'm coming in a bit higher than I thought I would on this because it is a light. It does use the app, but everybody I've played with has enjoyed this. So if you're looking for something light, something that's kind of horror themed, but something you can enjoy with up to 8 people, and it gives you that anxiety when a killer's calling, well, I say check out Scream the game. So I give that a 7. All right. Thanks, guys.